How's it going, everybody? So this week, I got my guy Jesse. Some of you might be familiar with Jesse. He does a lot of stuff for the recovery community here in Sac, and you know, I've known him now for almost a few years.
3 years.
Yeah, and I've been wanting to videotape him. I did a video once where he does a homeless outreach, so it's been a while, but I wanted him to share a little bit more insight about, you know, his recovery story and maybe just give you some encouragement as well. Something, Jesse, that I remember you said not too long ago in one of our groups was, you were saying that even though you struggle, you know that there's something in the effort on keeping on trying.
Yeah, man. Well, thanks for this little opportunity, man. Anytime.
Sure.
They got the bridge closed here. That's too
I know,
bad.
it's too bad.
Kind of wanted to walk across.
Me too.
Little mandate, little bromance, you know. we're by the river. If you can't tell, you want to pan out and show the people real quick. We're walking along the river, you know, just a couple of bros, you know. See, this is what I wanted. I wanted the shade.
Yes,
This is
exactly.
nice. It's hot today. So, yeah, man, that's kind of, it's funny you say that and you brought that up because I just spoke to the LA Dream Center on Wednesday on a Zoom meeting. I did devotions, and part of it was like,
really?
Yeah, I did devotions, and the Lord, I had wrote a sermon out, devotion out, and the Lord was like, scratch that. This is what you're gonna do, right? And so
sermon too. That's
I
awesome.
talked about staying plugged in, right?
Okay.
And how, you know, I realized how much time I spend on my phone. So I work for a national recovery agency called Young People in Recovery. And you know, a lot of my time is spent like emailing back and forth, and we live in Slack. It's an app called Slack. It's a communication app, and so all day I'm on Slack, email. We also are big on social media, and so I spend a lot of time communicating and with my phone. And let me tell you something, man, when my phone reaches 15%, I get uncomfortable. I start looking for chargers. I start, you know, panicking. I never let my phone go below 15% because I want to keep my charge. And it dawned on me, what if I seek God as much as I try to keep my phone charged? What if I try to keep my plugging with the Lord as much as I try to plug in my phone? And he convicted me, you know, and challenged me. But to your question, was like, you know, as long as we keep trying, you know, sometimes I let my phone die, right? But I don't get upset at myself, right? I get plugged back in, I get recharged, and you know, I have days where, I can keep going, I have days where it's harder than others. You know, today my sobriety today doesn't look, it's not so much drugs or alcohol anymore. Now it's like emotional sobriety, right?
Right.
And so, hey man, it's like this. As long as we're in the game, right? I think that's what you were talking about. I think as long as the effort is there, I think that's what God looks at. It's like,
amen.
Look, by my works, we're so prone to my works, right? That I feel like if I do this, and this amount, I'm holier than I am and closer to God. And the fact remains is that even the Bible says, you know, while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. And so this thing's not about works. This recovery process is about doing the best effort you can. It's like throwing your dart at the dartboard. And as long as you're in the game, there's grace in that. I may miss the whole board completely, right? I may not hit my bullseye, but as long as I'm staying in the game and I'm throwing my darts, I feel like that's what God looks at. Just stay in the game, man.
And the game is it sobriety? Is it being plugged into God?
Well, that's what sobriety is. Well, we have a threefold disease, it tells us in the big book, right? Spiritual, mental, physical, right? We have a three-part disease. We have a spiritual malady it talks about, right? That only God can fix. And so for me personally, I'm not knocking anybody. A lot of people say, hey, you know, my higher power is the room or a doorknob. Well, you know, that's fine for a season, but you know, we know that all these things come from God, the great I am, you know, and so that's just for me.
And I think it's a truth that we all have to come to terms with, because it's a source of power, right? A source of strength and peace and definitely love. And okay, so the game is the pursuit.
It's a pursuit. Right? It's a pursuit of now I'm talking more on my faith side, right? But you can translate that into recovery too. So on my faith side, look, do the best you can. And when you mess up and do those habitual sins, yeah, it looks pretty rickety. You think it's safe?
I don't know. We'll find out.
We're hopefully my Medi-Cal's good. Well, that's a nice little spot on that side.
Oh, okay.
I don't think if I would swim in this water though. Oh no.
Oh, it doesn't let you through.
So yeah, man. You know what? I would say as far as recovery goes, you want to just chill right here
Yeah.
on the point here.
Yep.
Just little jet skiers.
Huh.
That's what we need. There you go.
Oh,
There's jet skiers out there.
A lot of people going on out there.
We should save our money and get a jet ski for Project Heal. You know, a Project Heal jet ski, man. So anyway, back to the point, man, is I think it's both. I think it's my faith side says keep throwing the darts, but also recovery. You know, if you mess up, if you have a relapse, don't stay down, man. Stay in the game.
Yeah.
Keep throwing the darts. It's when we walk away and stop trying. Whether you're doing 12-step, harm reduction. Look, man, maybe you're a heroin addict and now you're doing harm reduction. You're doing Suboxone, you're doing methadone. I don't knock it. Whatever you're doing that makes you better than you were the day before. Right?
Amen.
That's the goal.
That is the goal.
That's the goal.
Exactly.
I don't knock. A lot of times people think 12 steps the only way. That's not true at all, Pete.
No.
There's more forms of recovery than 12-step. But for me, I gotta have 12-step. I gotta have abstinence.
Yeah.
I can't do nothing, you know. But whatever you're doing better than you were the day before, for me, is staying in the game.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You know, it's a really good point because I journal, and one of the things I write every once in a while is that for me, I try to get better at sobriety. And
Right.
people will be like, well, you have almost 20. Why would you still try to get better?
Right.
Aren't you good at it? It's like,
Right.
no, Jesse brought up a really good point. It's emotional sobriety.
Right.
It's mental, sometimes physical, you know, spiritual. Definitely. If you haven't been feeding your spirit, you know, you're lacking somewhere in there. And it's not about being sober from the spirit, but being sober from not connecting to
Right.
the spirit, right?
Right.
Yeah.
When you stay connected to God and you're working your steps, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, you know, alcohol and drugs is kind of like the last thing on the burner, in the back burner.
Right.
But man, even today, you know, coming up on 4 years of sobriety, it's
Nice.
like, I still do dirtbag things, man. And but here's the difference, is that when I do them and I'm called on them, I don't stray away from them. I own them. That's recovery.
Yes.
I was wrong. I can make it right, and I do it immediately. Even at times where I don't think I was in the wrong. If I know someone's offended, I did something, you know, out of pocket. Once I'm convicted, right, either through faith or maybe just your recovery convicts you, it's up to us to act on that conviction and make it right then and there.
Nice.
You know, that's recovery. It's not so much drinking or alcohol. It's like that, you know,
It's
that
that
inner
constant effort.
constant effort.
Yeah, to keep learning and growing and getting better
Yep.
in sobriety.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate that,
Yeah.
man. Thanks, Jesse.
Absolutely.
Kind of a little bit of what's going on out there.
And don't get me wrong, like let me just get this straight right now. I am in
Okay.
no way like arrived. I made mistakes this last month that somebody in recovery with 2 weeks has, right? But the point is, forgive yourself, right? God doesn't convict you. Make your amends and move on. A big
Right.
problem with people like us is, you know, like I told you earlier when we were eating that fat meal, thank you for that, by the way. You know, don't stay in convictions because that's not of God, right? So we've already been forgiven. Our higher power, we've been cleansed from all unrighteousness. The main part is making it right with yourself and with the other person involved, you know? And so that's what we do today, man. Just right your wrongs, clean your side of the street, trust God, and clean house, my friend.
There you go. Thanks,
it.
Jesse. That's beautiful. And it's a good reminder to those of you that are watching. Jesse brings it right on point. It's never easy. And I even don't, no one in recovery ever really wants to give that message. We do want to celebrate. We do want to acknowledge our successes, but we don't ever want to make it seem like it's that easy.
Right. It's this thing's not easy, man. I'm constantly checking it's about motives, right?
Right.
It's motives. I'm constantly checking my motives all the time.
Right.
I think that's a good place to be in, man. You know, whether it's recovery, whether it's the job place, social life, what are my motives?
There you go. All right. Thanks again, Jesse.
Yes.
See you later, everybody.
Sunburns.